y'all, I am Mazelleغ. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to share with you all this video clip. I'm actually going to just let you all hear the audio. I'm not sure if showing the video clip is going to get me a copyright strike. So you will hear the audio in the back, and I will show like a snapshot of the two people that were talking. And then, yeah, so that's kind of how I'm going to let you all hear this video clip. So let's get into it.
The program has been cancelled.
Exactly.
And maybe the few eyeballs that will be watching you.
Yeah.
The message you had to deliver on this big stage today that didn't come on.
Yes.
Can you tell them a fraction of it? Something small for the youth.
Yes, for me, what I want the youth to believe is it is high time for the youth to stop thinking about dollar, but it is high time for them to think about their resources.
Okay.
Because for many years we've been thinking about dollar America, and we are rejecting our valuable resources. And these are the same resources the Americans, the Europe, the everywhere, the Chinese, the Russians are interested in. Once they are coming back for what is valuable, so why are you rejecting what is valuable that you are exposed to?
I think it's ignorant.
And also, yes, so that is why such programs are important in the African life, because it will conscientize them, it will wake them up to know the importance of being an African and living in Africa. Okay. If you don't even know your true identity, you don't know your value.
Even I saw some
Americans know their true identity, that's why they have value. Okay. But we Africans, we don't know ourselves, so we don't have value. Sure. And value play important role in economic development. Okay. And that's why we are saying that the young ones should begin to think of the resources. We are rich. Are you getting me? Dangote didn't go to America to make money. He made money here in Ghana. Kwame Despa didn't go to America. He made money here. So why would I want to travel to America when I know Africa is the market? It doesn't make sense. So for many years, all our brothers are traveling there. America is a slave country. If you are there, you are working, they are enslaving you. You work more, but here you live like a king, like a queen, and you are enjoying all the rights. So who is deceiving you that America is the best ever? Africa is the best ever because they want to come.
So there was a Pan-African Convention that was set to take place January the 7th, 2024, and it was scheduled to take place in Accra, Ghana. Now there were thousands of attendees that were there for the event. When they arrived at the event, they were not able to get into the event. They did not really know what was going on, and then suddenly they were told that the event was canceled. And so the man in the video clip is just one of many Ghanaians that were out onto the street protesting this cancellation because they just did not know why this cancellation was taking place. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to why the cancellation took place. One of the speculations was on, I think, modernGhanaWeb.com, I believe, that said that it was a confusion. They were supposed to be canceling the Black Star Line Festival, and instead this was the event that was canceled. Now, that doesn't really make any sense to me. I think that the people who were involved of securing the venue for this convention should have known exactly what they were canceling or anything like that. So that just doesn't make any sense to me as if that would be the case. But that was a statement that was sent out by the diaspora affairs in Ghana. They were the ones that said they thought that one event was canceled and it ended up being the Pan-African event. Again, it doesn't make any sense. And then, of course, other speculations for the cancellation is that the Ghanaian government did not want to take place, particularly the Ghanaian president. Now, a lot of people are speculating and believing that the Ghanaian president is definitely working with the West. And so the West and the powers that be, I guess you would want to call them, did not want this event to take place. And so it was canceled. And the Ghanaians were not happy about the cancellation. They took to the streets. And they definitely let it be known that they are not happy with what has gone on. A lot of them had traveled far to get there. They had prominent African leaders that were there to speak, and they also shared their shock and disappointment for the convention to not take place. And what is wonderful about this whole situation is just seeing the togetherness of these countries on the African continent coming together to try to do what is necessary to move the continent forward. Now, it was the New African Foundation that organized this event and sponsored this event. And the New Africa Foundation is a foundation that definitely is geared to the unity of the African continent. And when you go to their website and click on our projects, the very first thing that you see on their website is the Convention of 2024. And then they go through and talk about and, you know, give a full-blown layout of exactly what was going to take place, what was going to be talked about. And as you can see on this website, the main focus of this convention was the African youth, to really teach them and to really empower them to be able to invest more in the African continent, because they are the way. They are the way to a new Africa. And in order for the torches to not burn out, the youth have to be educated, and they have to be empowered, and they have to be taught and told the importance of their voice being heard in the continent of Africa. So it definitely was focused on the youth. So it's really important that the African diasporans know that this event was going to take place, because when you hear some African diasporans speak, or when you hear some African Americans speak, they will have you to believe that the African continent has no desire for Pan-Africanism, that they don't know, you know, they don't have any knowledge of Pan-Africanism. They don't want Pan-Africanism to exist. They are not doing what's necessary to continue on with Pan-Africanism. And this just definitely goes to show that Pan-Africanism on the African continent is alive and well, and that there are some leaders of the African continent who are picking up the torch and carrying it right along in order for Pan-Africanism to continue. Now, I think what needs to be understood, and I think is a great place to start when it comes to Pan-Africanism, is of course the African continent. So the convention, as you can see, was a lot focused on the African continent, on the African youth, because that's where it's going to take place. You're going to, you know, it's very important for the countries of Africa to really come together and support each other. And I think it's important that African diasporans and African Americans see this taking place, and they see these prominent leaders sitting together and conversing about the future of the African continent, because you sometimes hear African diasporans and some African Americans claim that the countries of Africa do not support each other. They do not like each other. They do not work together. You will hear some African diasporans and African Americans say that they're tribalistic. They don't work well together. And you can see that that is exactly what's going on. You have these leaders coming together from different countries of Africa who are working together for the betterment and for the empowerment of the African continent. Now, what I love about what this man was saying on this interview, and I will link below so that you can see everything that he said, because he had a lot of good things to say, is basically talking about just how some African youth and some African young people believe that America is the ticket to freedom. They think that America is the ticket to wealth and richness, because that is what America has made them believe. And what they don't understand is that when America and the West, I would say the West, is pushing these ideologies as if you need to come here to come to school, you need to go here to start your business and things, they're taking away from the African continent, and they know exactly what they're doing. And what he said is very true. The West clearly know what is on the African continent, because if they did not know what was there, they wouldn't want it. And like he said, everybody is trying to come to the African continent for resources. And you have all these people in all these countries coming to the African continent trying to get in where they fit in. And then you have some people that are in the African continent that's trying to get out. And so he's saying it's very, very important to educate the young people of the importance of investing in the African continent and to make sure that the talents that they have stays in these countries in order to move these countries forward, in order to help them grow, and in order to build the wealth. And so that is very, very important, is to teach the next generation. Now, one thing he said that is so very true, that not a lot of people that move to the United States, they don't know that till they move there. And that is, when you go to the United States of America, you are constantly working. Constantly working. When you talk to a lot of Americans, a lot of them are working more than 40 hours out of the week. They rarely have any vacation time. They rarely have any day off. They rarely have any time for themselves or for their families. A lot of them are suffering from depression. They're suffering from mental issues. They're suffering from stress. They're suffering from illness. And it's all due to being overworked. And like he said, when you come to these countries of Africa, you will find that there is peace. There's just a simple way of life that you can come and you can actually build wealth. You can actually build a life so that you don't have to work for the rest of your life. And so that's the type of narrative that needs to continue to be pushed on the African continent, particularly with the young people, so that they will know the importance of staying there. Now, it's important that you know, even in the Black community, to begin to teach about the importance of the next generation and the importance of them knowing to take care of the communities that they are a part of. And when you get to where you have pretty much accumulated the wealth, when you got to where that you can pretty much do as you will, then you can of course go travel, you can go do all these other different kind of things, but you have to be able to start somewhere. And it starts with the young people. It starts to educating them, and that is exactly what the Pan-African Convention was set to do. Unfortunately, it was not able to do that because of just people not wanting the African continent to move forward. It's very disappointing. It's very disappointing that the event did not take place. I think it definitely does speak volumes, or definitely does say something to the African diasporans, considering that it was Ghana, or it has been Ghana, that has pretty much paved the way of extending an invitation to come to Ghana to invest and build a home. And then it's in the country of Ghana that the Pan-African event was not even able to take place and was canceled. I think that it also speaks volume of it even being in Ghana. Of course, we all know why it was in Ghana, due to Kwame Nkrumah, paying homage to him, and something that, you know, he definitely wanted to see and you know, was putting into fruition, and to kind of go back to the beginning and then walk away with absolutely nothing. This is the kind of thing that we see all the time when it comes to Black people and them trying to move themselves forward. There's always going to be somebody, there's always going to be something that's going to try to hold them back. But just like the leaders were saying when they did the interviews, we're going to continue to do what we need to do. We're not going to continue, you know, they're not going to continue to let barriers stand in their way of knowing what the purpose is and what their purpose is, and where it's going to take them. And I think, you know, it's important African diasporans really start looking out of what's going on in the African continent right now, because it is changing. The leaders are changing, the people are changing, people are waking up, and that is definitely going to be a good thing to see, and see how it kind of gravitates to African diasporans and to African Americans, because it certainly will. All right, that is all I have to say on that issue. I am Michelle Mazelleغ. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.